Welcome to Pick Central. Just me today in New York City. Got Mutt. Thankfully, I got Mutt. Bounce some ideas off of. We're going to talk Bill Belichick. We're going to talk Todd Monken. Talk some Giannis. The Jets. Maybe some baseball. Maybe tennis. Just kidding. No tennis. Before that, though, I want to talk to you about our friends over at DraftKings. Super Bowl 60 deserves a sportsbook built for the moment. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 60, puts you right in the center of the biggest game of the year. Anything can happen during the Super Bowl, and DraftKings has your back with early exit. If your player goes down in the first half, you still get paid in cash when your bet settles. No bonus bets, no waiting. While other sportsbooks don't offer injury protection, DraftKings covers the entire first half, even the second quarter. And early exit works on live bets too. Pre-game or in-game, DraftKings has you covered. New to DraftKings, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code PICKCENTRAL, all one word, PICKCENTRAL, to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Here with Mutt. What's up, Mutt?
What's up, man? How are you doing? A couple things real quick. You mentioned DraftKings.
Yep.
I think this is probably on most people's account. I don't want to speak for everybody, but there's a deposit bonus right now heading into Super Bowl week, which I took advantage of and got some bonus bets. And you mentioned golf. You didn't mention golf there. We got golf tomorrow. Farmers Insurance. I got a bet for golf tomorrow.
All right,
later
good.
On the show. I love betting golf. Golf, football, and then baseball props and awards. Those are probably my favorite three things to wager on besides college basketball.
I got really into betting golf last year, actually. Just like daily matchups and stuff like that.
Yeah. How about live stuff too, Hubs? Like you can betting live during the tournament. Like sometimes I'll use an example. Like Scotty Scheffler, most times is overbet. You can't bet him to win a tournament.
Right.
But if he gets out to a slow start, all of a sudden Scotty's odds look pretty good. So I like betting golf. I like live betting golf, and I got one guy to talk about later on in the show for sure.
Okay, beautiful. I did see there was the trio tomorrow. Was it Oberg? Is it Koepka? And somebody else? There's a fun trio, I think.
I just had the tee times up. Yeah, tomorrow's Koepka's big return. We just found out. I'll steal Meek's breaking news thing here. Patrick Reed wants to come back to the PGA Tour.
Okay.
So he's going to try to come back in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, tomorrow's they're pushing Koepka big time. This is like they're treating him like he's
as
Tiger
they should,
Woods.
man. He is a needle mover, 100%.
I agree.
Let's start. There's a lot to get to.
Good.
Let's start with Belichick. I know we can go Giannis. We can go a few other ways. We'll get to everything. Bill Belichick, not a first ballot Hall of Famer. So the NFL is trying to tell me that Shedeur Sanders and Keyshawn Nixon are Pro Bowlers, and Bill Belichick is not a Hall of Famer. That's what I've learned the last 2 days. Explain it to me. I don't get it. So he had to get 40 of 50 votes to be a Hall of Famer. There's speculation Bill Polian was at the center of telling everyone, let's, punish Bill for Spygate and Deflategate and not make him a Hall of Famer. That's fucking crazy if that's how it really went down. It seems like it had to be. If you're going off merit, there's no chance that you can dispute Bill Belichick as a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest coaches, if not the greatest coach of all time. When I got the alert, I didn't get the alert. When I saw it on Twitter, I thought it was fake. It just had to be. What do you mean, Bill Belichick? It's just one of these fake accounts. I don't get it. Like, there's baseball players. The Baseball Hall of Fame is sometimes the hall. The
O.J. Simpson's in the NFL Hall of Fame. We just go right there.
Right, but I'm saying like in baseball, you see this. People don't like certain players and they hold. Or coaches, and they hold grudges against them, and they penalize them for that, and they won't vote for them. And it's silly. Also, in the Baseball Hall of Fame, it's very tough to get voted in the first time. A unanimous first-time Hall of Famer. There's certain things with baseball that the Hall of Fame is just a joke and needs revamping. The NFL, I feel like you don't typically see that, but now with Belichick, apparently enough people, at least 11, held it against them. And it's fucking crazy. So, Mutt, you are the Pats guy. So, what are your thoughts?
I could do an hour on this.
Yeah.
I could do an hour on just this today, Hubs. I'm glad you give me some time. It's a fucking embarrassment to the Hall of Fame, the voters, Canton, the sport of football. Now, you mentioned they made some guys wait. Terrell Owens famously had to wait 2 or 3 years because he had his, I guess, weird off-the-field issues. He was a lock Hall of Famer. But this isn't close. I mean, this is a guy who you can't tell the modern era of football, the story of it, without mentioning Bill Belichick. You can certainly do it without talking about Bill Polian. or Tony Dungy or the other 48, I won't say they're all morons, but at least 11 are morons. You can tell the story of football without them. You can't do it without Belichick. And what these guys did was put their own morality clause into the Hall of Fame voting. You mentioned baseball hubs. There's that dumbass morality clause these guys hide behind, right? Where it's like, oh, it's written in there. It's not our fault. It's Baseball Hall of Fame's fault, not the voters' fault.
Right.
They don't have this in football. They're doing this because they're sad that Bill Belichick, in some cases, maybe with Polian, beat him up too much. And so we're going to penalize him by making him wait a year. That's his penance. That's his punishment. That's his go to your room. That's his no iPad. That's his you're grounded. You have to wait a year. It's a fucking joke. They should be embarrassed. And I'm glad there are guys like Marcus Mosher, who covers the NFL, who's got this Google Doc. He gave me access to it. He's tracking everyone's vote. We're going to know who the 11 are. By the end of the weekend, we're going to know the 11 people who didn't vote for Bill Belichick in the Hall of Fame. And it's a joke, and it should be, these guys should be mocked. I won't stop mocking them until we get the 11 names.
Bill Polian doesn't remember is the funniest part of this.
Yeah, so Polian's like claimed he did vote, and he goes, I'm not sure what happened. He started out
says like, absolutely, I voted
categorically for him. False, and like I did vote for him. I don't know what happened.
And then it changes to 95% sure I voted for him. I don't remember.
And I think
why is Bill Polian
Bill Polian
being Bill Polian should not be relevant in 2026? I shouldn't have to hear 100%. Bill Polian's name. Like why like when he popped up, they're like, I heard enough of this fucking guy during the Deflategate. I don't need this anymore. Like get this guy out of here. Why is Bill Polian making decisions? Come on, man.
I guess he holds some sway with some of those voters. Again, we're just speculating here, but there's a guy, Darren Gratt, who covers the Carolina Panthers. He took a big stand on Twitter saying, I'm not going to say what my vote is. So we're suggesting, I think, that he probably voted no on Bill Belichick.
Like at this point, like, we know where it is. Like, just say you voted no. Like, don't. If you're going out.
It's going to come out because you're going to. The people who did vote for him are not going to want to be accused.
Yes.
So they're going to all come out, and guess what? It's a numbers game. And once we find out, all the people that did, you'll leave the rest who don't say, and they'll be destroyed.
Gary Myers also had like an annoying. He voted yes, but he did have an annoying tweet that Clemmer. I mean, I'm on Clemmer's side with this, which is shocking.
That's never a good thing.
Gary Myers. What did he say?
Can someone explain why it's so important to know the names of the Pro Football Hall of Fame selection committee members who didn't vote for Belichick? What's the difference? You're going to egg their house, troll them on X, they earn their votes. I happen to disagree with them.
You agree with that?
No, I agree with Clemmer. This is the same media freaks out when a player doesn't attend a press conference. I guess accountability is a one-way street.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
You.
Okay.
Clemmer's right. Clemmer's right about that.
That's fair. Now Clemmer's like giddy about this because he if I feel like if he was in that room, he wouldn't vote for Belichick.
Oh, as a Jets fan, you got to be giddy. Like,
yeah,
this is your one win in like 20-something years.
I guess it's still so silly, man. Like, what are we doing? Bill Belichick isn't a Hall of Famer. What are you talking about?
So let's play this out for a second, boys. Let's play this out. So they penalized Kraft. The reason Kraft's not in is because of the same sort of thing. What happened down in Florida, off the field stuff. I think they've dragged their feet. Maybe Kraft gets in now. Maybe this is the year Kraft gets in. Are they going to pull this shit with Brady? Because Brady's linked to Spygate. Brady was, whether it was not his fault or not, he was there as part of Deflategate. They're going to penalize the owner. They're going to penalize the coach. Are these assholes going to penalize the greatest quarterback of all time and make him wait a year to get in the Hall of Fame?
They should show how dumb they fucking are and be consistent. They should just, at this point, be consistent. Show how big of a moron you fucking are.
Crazy. You're right, though. Maybe Brady is penalized if the same voters stay in place and like they don't revamp this at all. It's awful.
Hub, do you think there's a chance they they look at this and it's so bad?
Dude, there was so much blowback from this yesterday.
Go.
But like there was so much blowback on Twitter yesterday from this. And granted, I don't know how much people value Twitter, right? But like a lot of fucking people came out and were like, "This is insane." One name, Patrick Mahomes, I think had a quote tweet out.
LeBron James came out.
LeBron. Yeah, there's a lot of guys. Like, this pissed off a lot of people, and rightfully so. Like, if Bill Belichick isn't a first ballot Hall of Famer, then no coach can ever be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking? Like, it's crazy.
It cheapens the Hall of Fame.
Just because it
cheapens the entire place by doing this.
What'd you say?
It just cheapens the Hall of Fame by doing this. The idea.
It's a mockery of it. Yeah, right. It's not on the same scale, but like, how the Pro Bowl doesn't fucking matter anymore. Does the Hall of Fame not matter anymore? If the Hall of Fame doesn't recognize Bill Belichick as a first ballot Hall of Famer, then I don't really kind of care what else there is.
We're not even going to count like he won rings as an assistant with the Giants.
He won 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
did he win a playoff game with Cleveland as a head coach?
He beat the Patriots.
That's another
he
thing.
beat Parcells and the Patriots in Cleveland. Yeah,
you won
Leroy
a playoff
Hoard,
game with the Cleveland Browns. That's a great accomplishment.
I told this to my wife, and she was like, "Is this about the UNC stuff and Jordan Hudson?" I'm like, "No."
No,
No. So then I was like, maybe
it didn't help.
maybe it tarnishes like a little bit. Like I don't know.
I mean, his legacy did kind of get tarnished over the last 5 years, but like at the same time, it's like he should still be a first round Hall of Famer.
But it didn't get tarnished. People were just gonna. It's a little blip on the radar.
It got degraded a bit.
It got downgraded a smidge, but it didn't get tarnished. Like he's still, should be a first ballot Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah.
Like that's just what you should. I don't know. Part of me thinks now that he didn't get in, and it being this big of a story, and so many people be like, "This is stupid." It's kind of like cool for him in a way. Like, so many people are coming out of the woodwork to defend you.
Yeah.
Rather than just like, if he's first ballot Hall of Famer, no one's saying anything. Obviously, like that should be assumed. The fact that it's so egregious he's not, like, it might actually like do him some like, there's been so much anti-Belichick stuff in the last few years. This is now pro-Belichick in a way. Obviously he didn't get what he wants, 100%. But like so many people are gonna be like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" So in a way, it's not like too damn.
Well, and I thought
he'll get in, the next time. But
when it happened last night, my first assumption was Hubs. Like the voters wanted, like Schefter had the initial story on ESPN. Schefter had 4 sources telling him this. So I was like, okay, they want to get this out there to embarrass Belichick because they're not supposed to announce this till next Saturday.
Yeah.
So now, to your point, I think Belichick, who found out last Friday, wanted this out there because he knew the reaction he'd get. He is a hero right now, and I would not be shocked if he was the one who sort of got this out there because it makes the Belichick 11, who didn't vote for him at least, makes them like fucking idiots.
Yeah. So wait, hold on. Who's doing the Super Bowl? NBC?
Correct.
NBC.
Does Dungy still do stuff?
Rodney Harrison.
Does Dungy still do stuff for them?
I believe so.
Yes, he does. Yeah. He's on that Sunday night team.
You're going to have to ask him the question.
Yeah, so
100%.
I need them to ask him. Or like have Rodney Harrison in a room with him and just put him in a room and be like, "Why didn't you vote for Bill Belichick to get in the Hall of Fame?" If it comes out it's him. And I would imagine he's part of the list.
And Hubs, how about this? Kraft could get in and Belichick won't get in. Kraft might get in before Bill Belichick.
That's nuts.
So coaches have to wait 2 years to get in.
I will say it did. I'm
quick.
I'm used to obviously Philip Rivers had to wait
5 years.
His 5 years in baseball and all that. Yeah, I guess coaches just quicker. So that's something I learned today. But yeah, absolutely crazy story. I still don't think it's real. It's like, what do you mean he's not a Hall of Famer?
Bill Polian told one guy, I voted for Bill, and then said he didn't know.
I wish this shit was televised. I wish like the Bill Polian like telling everyone was televised, and then we could have a clip of it, or something like, "Listen, this guy's a bad guy. He cheated twice. Blah blah blah," and just goes on. Yeah, look at me. Look at Deflategate. Now he beat the Colts. My sweet Colts. Get out of here, dude. And Bill Polian, by the way, is like most famous for just Peyton Manning, right?
Yeah, just locking him to Peyton
Manning.
Manning.
So like you didn't do anything there. Like that's why you have your fame. Get out of here, dude. Let's switch gears. This broke about 10 minutes before we came on the show that finally Giannis has seemingly requested a trade, and Shams is reporting it, and they are going to field aggressive offers for him, and he will either be traded by this deadline, which is in a week,
or the summer, which we all kind of
When's
know.
the deadline? The 5th?
The 6th.
6th? Or the summer. So this is it. So like we're in the end game now of the Giannis leaving Milwaukee sweepstakes, the Miami Heat, the Knicks, maybe
the Warriors.
The Warriors, the Timberwolves.
The sleeping giant, obviously, they're not being discussed. The Thunder.
Yeah, that can't be allowed.
They've been struggling. They've been struggling the last month or so. Like you can't rule out trading like Jalen Williams.
I mean, they obviously can offer you the most of anything.
It can't be ruled out.
They can offer you the most assets of combinations of draft picks and young players. Like they could trade Jalen Williams and it really not and you bring in Giannis and nothing. You improved. The Knicks. This is it, man. Like If not now, then when? For getting that big superstar. And obviously Jalen Brunson's fantastic. But to get that, like, there's a different level with Giannis. Now, I will say there is something to Giannis is currently hurt with the calf. And it is tricky to trade for a guy like that, right?
But how often does a guy like that become available? You don't know.
I'm not saying to not. Oh, I would absolutely do it. I'd drive all those guys to the airport right now. Mikal Bridges, when February 1st hits, get in the car. We're going. And it would involve a third team for the Knicks, I feel like, because what Bridges would go to Portland is that proposed trade, and then picks would then go to Milwaukee and all that stuff. So it would get complicated. But the fact that finally we're here, this is what had to happen. There's different stages to Giannis getting traded. He finally had to admit that he wants to leave, and if he tried to make it work as long as he could. Credit to him for that. He definitely can't be viewed as a villain in Milwaukee. He won a title there, and obviously he tried to make this work as long as he could. But now it's time to move on. How old is he? Is he 30?
32, 32. Let me just double check that.
32 with these calf injuries. It easily could be a disaster to trade for him, but you absolutely have to do it.
He turns 32 in December, so you're trading for his age 31 season.
More what I'm saying with the trickiness of it, at least in the present, is let's say the Knicks do this, right? And they're trading, and it involves Towns, it involves
Bridges.
It involves Deuce McBride. And then you don't have Giannis still for another month, and that's if he beats his timeline or he comes back on the short side of it. You're going a month with, like, nothing. Like, you could fall in the standings. I'm just saying, you're trading Giannis for the long haul. You have him for years on. You extend him and all this. It's just in the present, it is tricky to trade for a guy who is now going to be out for a month. And calf injuries, you have to treat so delicately and he's had multiple this year. Mm-hmm. And those directly lead to Achilles tears, which is the last thing you need. You need to be very cautious when returning Giannis to your team. There's a lot of wrinkles here is all I'm saying. It's not just straightforward trade for Giannis, done. We're a title contender. There's a lot goes into it. And there's going to be competing offers. I'm going to need Giannis to straight up say he wants to be a Knick, because if he doesn't, then I think other people can beat their offer.
I think Sham said the Bucks are seeking a blue chip prospect and a surplus of draft picks. The Knicks have neither of those. And the teams that do, the Warriors have draft picks and a blue chip prospect. The Heat have draft picks. They don't really have a blue chip prospect, I guess. Like what is it, Hero, Jaquez? Like, the Heat's just like a poo-poo platter.
Jaquez, who they rendered untradeable a couple of years ago, and now it's like, who wants him? Now they have guys, and Yakuchunas from Illinois. I like him a lot, actually. Bam could be.
But also, would Giannis want Miami? Like,
so how much does that matter, right? Yeah. That's the next question here: is how much say will Giannis have here? It should be a lot for what he's done to that franchise and how much patience he's had with them. But yeah. Will he do this thing where he gives you 4 teams and be like, any of these 4 work? Or will he just pick one and be like, it's got to be here? Or will he have no say and they could trade him anywhere? You have to imagine that no team's going to trade for him if he doesn't want to go there,
Yeah. And so we know, like, the next path, obviously, would be the Portland trade, because Portland has control of Milwaukee's picks.
And they want Bridges.
And they'd want Bridges. And then the Knicks would take on Drew Holiday, which is a bad contract that the Trailblazers shouldn't even have took on to begin with. So it all leads back to the Celtics just doing that. So that's the Knicks path. There is a report, Liam can show this. The Warriors' big plan at deadline could be to acquire Andrew Wiggins, then flip him for Jimmy Butler or for Anthony Davis or Giannis Antetokounmpo to make the salaries work. So,
I love the Warriors and Steph Curry.
They still have all their draft picks.
They do have the picks. They do have their picks.
They've had a weird year, Hubs. Like the fighting, the Draymond Green stuff on the sideline, the coach. I mean, they've had a weird year.
Well, what also sucks is prior to the Jimmy Butler ACL tear, they were playing great basketball.
Yeah.
They had a 3-week stretch that was tremendous and was everything Klummer said they couldn't do, and it was starting to make it work. Now it's like they're in a really tough spot, man, because Curry's not getting any younger. He's still so great.
It's not that you don't have Jimmy Butler this year. You won't have him like next year. His career could be like pretty much over. Like ACL tear at 36, 37.
Butler could return by this time next year.
But like what he's going to be when he comes back.
Sure. It's just
that age.
They have only they've tried to trade Kuminga for seemingly years now. You have the picks. There's just I don't know what they can do. I don't know what Klummer says they should trade Curry. They're not trading Curry. They're not trading the franchise. Curry won't
if I'm the Bucks, the most
Curry will
enticing
leave.
offer would be how aggressive the Warriors are because their draft picks in a few years could be gold with how old their roster is.
Right.
That's the team you want. And if it's not that, then it may be some combination where you get your picks back from Portland in the next deal.
You're right. Like the post-Curry era Warriors, what does that look like with their picks? Probably very bleak. So those are the picks you'd want.
And the flip side, like I said, like Portland having control of the Bucks picks. Like the Bucks are gonna be once they trade Giannis, they're gonna be bad for a while. They may want control of their picks.
They're bad now with Giannis.
That's the thing. Like they may want control of their picks, where like they could tank, they could target. Like just having your own picks would mean so much more. That's why having Portland as that third team could be so huge.
Yeah. Simmons drew up Luka for Giannis trade.
Yeah, which
I do that. So how much of this, like, so you're a Western Conference team, you see Oklahoma City, they're at the top. There's some other, are you less likely to go all in for Giannis, knowing that it's a tougher road than the East? Which
you should.
Again, I had the
OKC's showing
Celtics.
I think this is OKC is bleeding a little bit.
Yeah.
They've shown that like maybe if they had kept that streak going to start the year and they still had 3 losses or something like that, but what, are they up to 10 now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So granted, it's still a great record and they're the defending champs and. In a playoff series, still an incredibly tough out, obviously, but you can beat them. You've seen the book. Not the book is out, but there's more of a story out there on them how to attack them, maybe. I think, hey, dude, if you're the Spurs, if you're the Rockets, even the Wolves, am I missing anybody there at the top? Spurs, Rockets, Wolves, Denver. So Denver, I always miss Denver. Those teams. You absolutely think you can get OKC. Now, the Nuggets are not trading for Giannis.
They can't with their money.
No. And the Rockets, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
The Rockets could. They
could, but it doesn't make. They need a point guard. They don't need Giannis.
Correct. It's not a basketball fit.
Right.
It's
The
more,
assets. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It could feasibly work. It doesn't make sense basketball wise. The Wolves probably could.
It could work, but on the flip side, they don't have their draft picks because they gave them all up for Gobert.
Right. Which is, man, they're. Yeah.
You can't say it's a bad thing.
Who regrets giving up their picks more, the Knicks for Bridges or the Wolves for Gobert?
At the same time, we're talking about teams that made the conference finals last year. The Wolves made it 2 years in a row. Like, you can't regret it that
helps
much.
When you have really good star players like Brunson and Edwards. This will be the talk of the town. We needed Giannis to do this, to come to go to the Bucks, and it had been talked about in the last week that they were having these discussions more and more. And I don't know if the last straw was him booing back the crowd.
I think I know what the last straw was. What Doc Rivers said last night.
What did he say?
Joel Embiid's the most talented player I've ever coached. I just never had him healthy. You're coaching Giannis.
I did see that quote. And I didn't put 2 and 2 together about Giannis.
Doc, man. Doc loves.
It's amazing that he's like they've tried wiggling around the roster and doing what they can to make Giannis happy, and Doc has stayed the whole time. Yeah. Like they haven't thought to change up the regime of the top.
I mean, they fired Adrian Griffin when they were 30 and 13. And then they hired Doc Rivers. It's like that whole process.
Oh, Glenn.
And they can't control it. But to backed up what you said about the Knicks guys, this is like when an NFL team does maybe it's not the best quarterback draft, but they need a quarterback, so they take one. The Knicks feel like they have to go all in.
Oh yeah, yes.
They might have the people to do it, the money, the picks, the players, but they need to get
the Knicks are so here to start the year. My thoughts were differentiated with the Knicks. Were I want them to be really good. Obviously, I want this to work. I want Towns to take a step up, and maybe Mike Brown can unlock some things, and Brunson stay healthy and all this, and Bridges, and I want it to all work. And for a little bit, it was. And you did have that pause. I think I talked about it with Phil, and we were just like, do we want to do any? Do we want to mess this up? But then you're secretly hoping in the back of your head, all right, if he becomes available, you kind of hope at the same time the Knicks are sputtering, because at the end of the day, I've said this, Cat and Brunson can't win together. Mm-hmm. I just don't think it's possible with how bad they are defensively together. I think you can win with one if you pair them with a better defensive unit and better player. And it's kind of synced up, right? Mm-hmm. Where the Knicks are sputtering. The Knicks don't have an identity. Then it's not working right now. Towns is getting benched in fourth quarters, and the Giannis is available. So it is seemingly the way, if a Giannis trade was going to happen to the Knicks, the path is certainly lined up the way it should.
Like, we talk about Giannis, like, all the concerns of his cats. Like, currently Towns can't play basketball. Like, they're playing him 27 minutes. Like, he's just not a fit. And it's not just that. He's signed for another, like, 2 more years. So we can talk about the concerns of Giannis. It's like, the Knicks have a concern. Like, we have this bad basketball player that's overpaid for another 2 more years.
The flip side with Towns, though, is, like, why would anyone trade for him? Because it's seemingly his value is at its lowest. We're not playing him in the fourth quarter. But on the flip side of that, you play him a lot, you expose him even more how bad he's been.
Exactly.
And you risk injury.
But also, if
maybe this is the way.
Let's say he's on a team like Milwaukee. There's just no pressure. You can get your numbers and you can trick someone.
He will put up the fakest stats.
That's what I mean. You can get like a 30 and 15.
He might resemble Wilt Chamberlain in Milwaukee. And they're just losing every game.
Nobody will care.
No, not a soul. So Jordan Woods, I hope you like Milwaukee. So we'll see. I'm sure we'll be wrinkles even throughout the day today with that. But big sports stories start the day.
Oh, the other story is the Cavs are open to having LeBron finish his career with them in the offseason.
Oh, God.
Well, this definitely feels like the last year for LeBron, right?
Dave McNamara reported that, obviously, like, credible reporter.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say this is last year. I'd say next year. He wants a retirement tour.
No, okay. No, last year in L.A.
Oh, yes. Yes, he's done with the Lakers.
Yeah, this is it. This is and I don't think he retires. You would know already.
Yes.
Like, I don't think LeBron is just popping up at the end in April and be like, yeah, that's it. See you guys.
He's doing the tour. He's doing the entire tour.
Yeah. So, for it to be in Cleveland, where is he the guy that gets them over the hump again?
I wonder if he'd signed league minimum or they'd be.
What if he comes to the Knicks with Giannis?
That'd be awesome.
That would be so cool.
Did you see what Ramona Shelburne
said
yesterday?
The money would be terrible as a payroll with all three. It's so bad. What?
Ramona Shelburne yesterday said on some Los Angeles radio show, I'm not sure LeBron told the Lakers to draft Bronny. And they just said, like, that's the dumbest thing. Like,
what's a bigger lie? Bill Polian saying he didn't vote against Belichick or fucking LeBron didn't demand Bronny?
LeBron. That's 100% certainty. 95 for
That's an unbelievable lie. That's all time. A few other things to get to. We'll go football.
The Jets just firing their offensive coordinator.
There's a few things with football, right? So the Jets, the John Gruden thing was real?
Yes.
The Jets wanted John Gruden to join Aaron Glenn wanted John Gruden to join his staff. What are we doing? John Gruden isn't joining. He is the staff. John Gruden's Aaron Glenn. Do you want to join John Gruden's staff? That's how it would work. John Gruden comes in like Ari Gold with the paintball and just shoots the whole staff of the Jets and be like, I'm taking over. Aaron Glenn, do you want to run like the safeties? You want to take over the corners? Sure, no problem. But you're not. I'm not under your staff. Get out of here. And as Dave said, I don't want to just copy and say, but one of the more insulting asks you'll ever see. Like, how quickly did John Gruden? He's a respectful man, but man, when John Gruden hung up that phone, the laugh that he probably had would have been unbelievable.
I like what Meme said. He said you would have been the head coach by week 3. It's like, probably.
Right. You almost do take that job knowing like,
oh, I could be interim.
What? And Aaron Glenn is so dumb that he would be like, oh, this is great. John Gruden's here. Not realizing he just like brought on his replacement. John Gruden running the Jets would be unbelievable. You got Harbaugh running the Giants and Gruden running the Jets. What a
Hollywood.
Hollywood
in New York.
You want to talk about headlines? We wouldn't talk about anything else on this show but those two guys. Todd Monken, Browns finally got a guy.
Well, I thought he was locked to go with Harbaugh.
Yeah, but you get a head coaching job, which is seemingly what he's wanted for a long time.
60 years old, like first crack.
Yeah, man. Head coach. When are you gonna? Honestly, really like it for him, and I really like it. I think it's a great move for the Browns. I don't know if they can find an offense to work with what they have.
They have a Pro Bowl quarterback. What are we talking about?
Yeah. The defense, though. So Schwartz is going to stay?
I believe so. Let me check.
He's under contract. And I feel like this is like if they brought on one of those younger minds like Shielhasi or who was the other name?
Oh, well, this is actually
what?
After the Browns informed DC Jim Schwartz this morning they were passing him over to hire Todd Monken as head coach, Schwartz was visibly upset, said goodbyes in the building, and told other coaches he's not coming back. Schwartz is under contract, and Cleveland wants to retain him, but his future is now unclear.
That's real?
Yes, that's Tom Pelissero.
That just happened?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess they're not bringing it.
They're not bringing
Oh,
them
so that's okay. Let me ask you this then: Do you like it as much, Hubs? I thought of the 8 jobs available after the first. There was 8 jobs available. I thought the Cleveland job was the worst. Do you like the Monken hiring if you know Schwartz is out and they got to sort of reset with a different defensive mind?
Yes, I thought Schwartz being a head coach again was not the path to go down. I think we've seen that, and some guys are just meant to be coordinators. I think I would have laughed if Jim Schwartz were just the Browns head coach. Like, that feels like you're just going nowhere. I like going Monken. He had good years in Baltimore. The last one not so great, and Lamar wasn't healthy, and there was a lot of background noise with that stuff. So I'm not going to put it too much on him. I think it's a good hire, man. I wouldn't have also hated them going the route of a younger guy like the Shielhassi and who's the other? The Jaguars guy. Right. I think that would have been fun too. Taking a gamble on one of those guys. But I do think that's a good hire with Monken. Like, when that came across the news, I was like, oh, good for the Browns, man. Like, I really just wouldn't have taken the Schwartz thing. Well, I did not expect him to just like storm out, though. That is, see, because like the duo of Monken and Schwartz is excellent. But I guess you got to see who their DC is. Is it too late to fire Gannon in Green Bay and bring in Schwartz?
Get Schwartz.
Because I would do that, because I don't think Gannon's going to work at all. I did just see the Packers hired
Jeff Delo's not a fan of the Monken hire.
No.
What did Jeff say?
What a loser, pathetic hire from a Rox-for-brain owner who will likely just fire this guy 1 year from now as he tries to chase Arch Manning. Also, enough of Jim Schwartz. Anyone with a pulse can coach that defense. Letting him dictate so much is nuts.
I agree with the second part. For the most part, not just hiring Jim Schwartz to hire Jim Schwartz. So who did Jeff want? One of the young guys?
Shielhassi.
Well, probably with who did Marty have tagged there?
Shielhassi.
He had Shielhassi, and before he had Udinski. He's over 2.
That's probably the biggest news of the day. Marty Mush is retired from the Scoop game.
For now. He'll probably break Giannis in a few days.
For now. It's a little Favre retirement. He'll come back. He'll come back when he wants. I did see the very, very minor news, but the Packers hired the Bills defensive coordinator to run like their linebackers or something.
And the Bills are like close to hiring Jim Leonard, who's a great defensive coordinator.
Jim Leonard too. This
happened. We were on the air yesterday. We sort of passed it all like joke. No surprise. Bills. They went through the process.
Yeah.
Josh Allen was part of it. They upgrade Brady to the head coach. My take 24 hours later is they're putting a lot of pressure on Josh Allen, boys. Like, he's supposed to win. It's the handpicked guy, even though it might not be the handpicked guy. I don't love the quarterback being tied to the new head coaching guy, who's not really a new head coach. He was already there on offense, and the fans seem to hate this hiring in Buffalo. It's a boring city for that team.
It's an interesting hire. I like Joe Brady, and obviously you go back to his LSU days, and that offense was electric. Granted, Joe Burrow, Jefferson, Chase.
Had some pretty good players there, yes.
Yeah, tough to fuck up. Then went to Carolina, right? Didn't work out. And then Buffalo. 36 years old, young mind. So that's all good. The thing is, if you're only firing McDermott and you're promoting Bean, giving him more power, and promoting Brady, you're really just pinning this all on McDermott. And I do think there's a lot of fault with McDermott. And I thought he should have been fired a couple of years ago for like game management and just always kind of, when you see him across the sidelines in a playoff game, you feel like you just don't have the upper hand. But if you're only firing McDermott, you are, like you said, putting a lot of pressure on Josh to just figure this all out. Also, who's their defensive coordinator? Did they hire that yet?
No.
So that's very important, right?
See it.
Because that's the biggest problem with that team is defense. Now, okay, sure. Josh had a really bad game against the Broncos. Most of the time, that doesn't happen to play. Like, he has not been the reason they're losing these playoff games. His numbers are excellent. He had a very bad game against Denver. But the defense is usually what lets them down. You got to bring in a good now, maybe is Jim Schwartz going there? Could that be a name? That would be fun.
That'd be a good hire for them. They can do that.
That would be a fun name. I'm sure there's other defense. Raheem Morris is still out there. I think he still wants a head coaching job. So maybe like Arizona or something. But Raheem Morris, proven pretty good coordinator, not a head coach. But yeah, Schwartz going to Buffalo would be fun. So it's tough to examine the whole picture and say it was just all McDermott, because that's seemingly what they did. So I don't know.
I think most people would say it was the talent on that team, and they elevated the guy who picked the talent to a better job.
I do think it's
and by
nuts
the way,
that Bean's there. It's crazy.
I don't think was their offense that awesome with one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL? I feel like this guy want to run the football.
But then we can circle back to Bean. Who's he throwing? Like that, the personnel was horrible. So I thought the offense, for what was there, did pretty damn good. For who's Josh is throwing. I know they have a pretty good offensive line, really good offensive line, and obviously a very good running back in Cook. But the receivers, man, are brutal. Who you're throwing?
Tight end, and that was about it.
And Keon Coleman, and the Knox and Kincaid are great. But throwing the Keon Coleman pick was a complete whiff. And like, how are you rewarding Bean for that? Yeah, it did feel like if you're gonna fire McDermott, and I do think it was the right move, you should fire Bean too and bring in a whole new regime.
You're just scapegoating.
But maybe Josh liked Bean. Bean's the guy who drafted him, right?
Yeah.
So maybe Josh has too much say. Listen, Aaron Judge has a lot to say with the Yankees. A lot of the moves that Aaron Judge has pushed on for the Yankees has not worked. So sometimes it's great in theory to give the player a lot of say and power, and then you see what happens, and it's not so great. But we'll see. Maybe there is something with Joe Brady running the team that will click. I do need to see who their defensive coordinator is to see if this is the right path. And if Jim Schwartz is the guy, then hey, that's pretty fucking good. What else do we have here? As we wind.
Stella Blue.
Stella Blue. Our friends over at Stella Blue. Stella Blue's coffee, new canned lattes are here, crafted with 100% Colombian coffee. Each can is a good source of protein and comes in 2 smooth flavors, espresso, cafe mocha, and espresso sweet cream. Whether you're braving your morning commute or chasing your pup, Stella Blue cans are for those always on the go and for those who care. Stella Blue is more than just great coffee. It's about giving back. Big Cat named the brand after his rescue dog, Stella, who inspired our mission to help more dogs find their forever homes. Every purchase supports animal rescue organizations, so when you drink Stella Blue, you're not just fueling your day, you're saving a dog's life. Try the new cans today, taste the difference, and make a difference. All new Stella Blue Coffee can lattes are now available at StellaBlueCoffee.com. Real quick, we'll talk a little baseball here. We'll jump around, unless I'm missing some stories here, and if I am, then help me out. Joel Sherman went on a podcast yesterday, and he's, in my history, recent history at least, been pretty critical of the Yankees. And he had this outrageous quote, screaming, cursing at Yankee fans, being like, "Oh, you thought the Yankees bringing back Trent Grisham on the qualifying offer was going to prevent them from spending on Bellinger? How stupid do you look?" I don't know if there was any Yankee fan out there who was saying this. I really don't. Like, Cody Bellinger coming back was an expectation based after you miss out on Tucker and all those guys. Like, you better have fucking brought Cody Bellinger back. I don't even know what the plan would have been if you don't, if Trent Grisham was really holding them up. Like, that's not what I expected. What I was fearful of, and what seems to have happened, is that Trent Grisham coming back has restricted them from other moves. Because the only external move they've made of significance is Ryan Weathers, and that was a trade of 4 minor league prospects. They're not signing him. They didn't go after Ime. They weren't in on Ime at all. He had signs for $50 million with the Astros, seemingly something anyone could have done. I think they need starting pitcher depth, and honestly, maybe another upper echelon arm in the starting pitching depth, if in the event that Cole takes his time to come back, or isn't as sharp, which is very reasonable coming off of Tommy John, and he's not a spring chicken. Carlos Rodon's going to miss the first month if things go correctly. Clark Schmidt is out till the second half of the season if things go correctly. It's a lot of things, and you're leaning on Cam Schlittler. There's definitely reason to believe they should have gone and they have tried at least with Freddie Peralta and Edward Cabrera. So they're clearly trying to add a guy, but they haven't yet. And then the bullpen is pretty thin. Bednar's great, and I like Fernando Cruz, and we'll see what Camilo Doval with an offseason under Matt Blake. Seemingly that should go well for him, but that's it. The bullpen's pretty thin, so they haven't spent money on anything else. The offense is virtually the same going into this year. So I don't know, Joel. I don't think that you're right when you're saying, "Oh, look at these Yankee fans." Like that, no one was saying the Cody Bellinger thing. They were saying about is this going to restrict them from adding other pieces to the team?
Also, this is funny that it just came out yesterday too. That may bring back Paul Goldschmidt even more so. The same team.
It is another thing though with Goldie is they don't really have a righty first baseman at the moment, unless it's Oswaldo Cabrera,
who fractured his ankle.
I mean, I think he's 100% now. There was talks of him potentially playing at the end of the year. It didn't work out. I think by spring training he's going to be fine. But, that's not really like a good option, I feel like, to platoon at first base. And Ahmed Rosario was going to try and learn first base too. So they haven't addressed the first base platoon situation. And now you're hearing Paul Goldschmidt. Like, I don't know. That's not that. None of that's like, oh, the Yankees really spent this offseason. Not really.
I need Hubs versus Joel Sherman. Clearly, this got under your skin. That's a 3-minute rant about the Yankees. Excellent rant by you. I will point out one of your co-hosts reached out to me while you were ranting and said, "Tell Hubs, don't worry about it. Paul Blackburn's there, so not going to be an issue. You have Paul Blackburn." They're in the same spot the Red Sox are, and I think as baseball fans, we have to acknowledge that we root for teams now that could spend money. Hubs, Joel Sherman, Hubs, whoever you're listening, they could spend money. They've decided they no longer want to spend at the tippy top of the market. Now, the Dodgers are way over there, but they're waiting a year, and we're going to have an ownership in New York, ownership in Boston. They're going to beg for the salary cap, and they're going to want it in place. And, and we, as fans of teams that should be rooting for ownership to spend a lot of money and go all in, they've stopped doing it in 2 big markets, and they're doing that in part because they want this salary cap. And they're one of the reasons why we're going to lose baseball for a year.
Yeah.
So Sherman can say what he wants about their spending this year. I think bigger picture, it should piss us all off that they're going to fight over how much they can spend max and salary floors, and we're going to lose baseball because of it, because of these 2 franchises.
Yeah, and I did get some pushback from, the Yankees do spend, right? I think they actually are projected at the moment with the luxury tax and how much money is front-loaded with Bellinger that it will be like their highest tax bill in history. And that's great. And I'm not saying they don't spend, because they were in on Soto for $750 million. Juan Soto chose the Mets because of his mom. That's just what happened. So, and they didn't want to give him the suite, and his mom got rubbed the wrong way for one incident or whatever. But they were there. They didn't stop at $600 million. They went to $750. So, they were toe to toe with the Mets there, and they just gave Cody Bellinger, all this money. So, clearly they're spending. I'm not saying they don't spend. Now, part of it also is Cashman, right? Cashman spends poorly. Cashman has all these contracts that you have to end up DFAing, like Aaron Hicks and DJ LeMahieu. But then back to Hal, he lets little things. He lets, as you're saying, the luxury tax. He lets that act as a barrier, and it prevents you from helping and improving the team in little ways. For example, last year. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but last year they went into the season with DJ LeMahieu as an option at third base. How? They just neglected third base. Why? Because it would have cost some money, and they didn't want to spend it. They wanted to see what they had in-house, even though everyone and their mother knew DJ LeMahieu was cooked and done and should not have been relied upon again. And his ceiling was 700 OPS. So, and honestly, a lack of range and bad defense. Just not a starting baseball player. Meek Phil, question, what team is DJ LeMahieu on right now?
He's an unrestricted free agent. He was apparently close to signing with a team back in November, I think Joel Sherman himself reported, but it fell through.
Shocking. So DJ's not on a team. And Rizzo's retired. So these are guys who they were relying on, and just...
I do have the list of right-hand first basemen on the market the Yankees could sign over Goldschmidt. Rhys Hoskins is still out there. Justin Turner, 41 years old. Wilmer Flores... Ty France, Mark Canha, Carlos Santana's a switch hitter. Those are just other options besides Paul Goldschmidt.
Not like a horrible list of people for platoons.
Not great. It's not great. It's okay.
I'm just saying I would rather one of those guys on the team than I currently have. I'd rather them over probably Oswaldo Cabrera.
Yeah.
As a first baseman. I like Oswaldo as a utility guy, but
and then also, if that guy sucked, you just cut him. There's just no,
won't cost you anything. Yeah. That's our little baseball rant. I do want to talk college basketball real quick. There was a very fascinating game last night. Michigan-Nebraska. Now, Nebraska came into this game 20-0.
Yep.
Facing Michigan, who started the year beating everyone by 50. They fell off a little bit. They had their loss. They had not covered in 7 straight going into this game. They were dubbed a 11.5 point favorite in this game. I think it actually went to 12.5 by tip. At home, this was a big test to see like how real is Nebraska to me, and I came away really impressed. They were toe-to-toe, if not winning, most of this game. And, Michigan is a very good team. They pulled it out in the end. But I think if you're a Nebraska fan and you wanted some assurance of what kind of team you have here, Nebraska is a very, very good basketball team. And to only lose this game by 3 and to be winning majority of it on the road against a very good team, I think that was a big test for them. There was a lot of fluky lines with them lately, and they were unbeatable against the spread seemingly. Like, it didn't make sense. They were due to get killed. This seemingly was the game, and they were winning the whole game. They easily could have won this game outright. So I came away very impressed by Nebraska. Obviously, still a good win for Michigan. Of course, you beat the number 5 team in the country, and a very good team, for sure. But both these teams will be very much in the mix in March Madness in the later stages, I imagine.
I thought the difference was talent at the end. Like, I thought Michigan a little bit more talented, but Nebraska showed in a big spot they can play with anybody. If you had that question going in and thought it was fluky, it's just a 24-game winning streak, I hate to say one game answered all those questions, but I think you were on the show yesterday saying you thought it was Michigan's chance to sort of prove a point here and prove Nebraska was loose. Nebraska hung around, man. They're well coached, good system.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more talent on Michigan. You can't
fault Michigan because they got the win, and they were down 10 at one point in this game, and they pulled away. I thought they would blow them out, like I just the spread screamed that, but it just did not go that way. I'll say this: Michigan is a little careless with the ball in this game. A lot of like full court passes that just like trying to push the ball where it's not there, and
a lot of risk. A lot of risk on that.
A lot. It happened at the end of the first half and happened a few times in the second half. It's like they're trying to throw the ball up to Mara, who is an X factor for sure. His size and his hands, he is a problem. Like, I imagine in March Madness, Mara is just going to dominate. Like, there's just that's that kind of size. You just don't have an answer for 7'3". Like, it's just tough, and they know how to get him the ball. They're very good with it. So just a fascinating game for college basketball to keep your eye on, and two teams that moving forward will be problems. Michigan State survived the scare to Rutgers. They had to go to overtime. They were losing. Yep. They were like dead in this game. I did not catch the end because I was watching the end of the Michigan game, but they were down. What was it? 9 with 2 minutes to go or something like that.
Yeah, they had to outscore Rutgers by 9 in the second half. They just forced overtime.
Yeah, but late. So this was 67-60 with 2:48 to go. Rutgers seemingly in control, and then Michigan State kind of snapped out of it. But Rutgers was winning for most of this game as well. So that was a scare for them. And then there was Indiana.
UConn got scared last night. I was locked in on number 2 UConn. Their offense is not the same without Braylon Mullins, and he's not one of the 2 or 3 best freshmen in the country. He's right on that cusp, but their offense is just sort of broken without him. And I know Jeff D. Lowe was talking about their lack of killer instinct. He's right. They win these close games, but they need Mullins to be healthy. We talked about him yesterday, missed the game concussion protocol. We'll see if he's back over the weekend, but they're actually at a point where they need him because he unlocks all their offense. He's such an elite 3-point shooter. They struggle at times. Solo Ball was supposed to be their go-to score. He's dealing with an injury. His shooting was way off last night.
Who went 3 for 14 from the field?
Yeah, Solo Ball.
He's Alex Caravan.
What's that?
Alex Caravan.
Okay, your guy Caravan. Sorry, he had a couple of nice passes to set up Terrace Reed, but he struggled. There's a different team without Braylon Mullins, and I didn't expect it to be that much of a drop off offensively. They're still a good defensive team. They got nothing from the home crowd last night. That was as bad. I've been to a million games at Gamble. That was as bad as I've seen a game at Gamble against Providence in a long time. They're good, but offensively, they need Mullins to be elite, and be a real contender for win a championship. They need Mullins back. That was proven to me again last night.
Indiana beats Purdue at home. Bad loss. Purdue's kind of sputtering a little bit here. They were
good night for Rico in his SEC finish for Alabama. They beat Missouri pretty handily at home. So
that was important. They needed to do that. Miami, Ohio, still undefeated. They were losing this whole game to UMass.
I could not.
And they
showed a halftime score. UMass led at halftime. I was like, oh, this is.
It was the spread was what, 6.5, something like that. Maybe it was a little higher, but UMass was winning this whole game. It felt like, and then in the second half, Miami started to chip away. They scored a shit ton of points, man. And they right now they're just inevitable. They just pull it out at the end. Miami, Ohio is 21-0. How about that? And then Vandy blew the doors off Kentucky. It's rock bottom for Kentucky. It's also rock bottom for me. Not to spend a lot of time on my teams, but
Clemmer.
What?
And Clemmer, Kentucky losing. He continues.
Oh, yeah, that's not good. But Syracuse loses by 20 to NC State. They're pretty much like out of – not that they were ever going to be probably, but they can't be an at-large team anymore. If they are going to make the tournament, they have to win the ACC tournament. They are in – I can't believe it's 12:52 in the afternoon, and Red Autry hasn't been fired yet as the head coach. This will be it, though, when the year is over. It has to be. It's so bad. It's amazing. When I went to school there from 2012 to 2016, they made 2 Final Fours. They were number 1 team in the country one year. It was awesome. And from the days of Michael Carter-Williams to Tyler Ennis to Michael Benajay, like running the team, like those teams were so much fun. Even if they were like high seeds in the tournament, like my senior year, they ended up making the Final Four out of fucking nowhere. It was so sick. They are nowhere near that. Like I feel so bad for kids who go there right now, because when I went there, it was so much fun to go to a basketball game. It was a true joy. It was everything like not that I picked going to Syracuse because of the basketball, but boy, did it fucking sway me 100%. Like, yeah, communication school, I didn't even get in there. Like I just went and had a fucking good time. And yeah,
I wish I could call. One of the reasons I ended up going to UConn is, in my visit there, I went to UConn Syracuse at Gamble, or could be UConn Syracuse, UConn St. John's, one of those two. And I was like, I can't go to any other school. Like this is unbelievable. So I feel your pain. Unfortunately for me, UConn continues to win as Syracuse continues to.
Well, you got a great. It's all about coaching, man. Coaching's a big deal, and from Boeheim overstayed his welcome, and then they hired internally to Autry, and it was just the absolute wrong move. So I really hope when Autry's fired in hopefully the coming minutes, that they just in the offseason have us cast a wide net and hire an external guy and somehow bring this program back, because I don't even want to go to a game. Like I'd love to go up there and show my wife like where I went to school and have a fun time, but like I don't want to fucking waste my time up there if I'm watching this basketball team. So
are you one of these guys? So you're a diehard. So are you at home like yelling at the TV when Syracuse is losing? And
they've beaten me down. Like I don't think I can't. They're not worth my time right now, which is really sad because they used to.
Oh, that's the worst when you can ignore them.
No,
that's the worst.
Yeah, I don't want to. I want to be able to tune in on a weeknight and just watch like a big ACC game. You know, NC State's been formidable this year, and I want to watch them, but like they're just not worth my time, man. Autry there, like it's painful to watch, and you know the guys who are taking a billion shots a game on this team, and fucking Nathan George 2 for 12 from the field. Like, get out of my face, man. Come on. So that's sad. Other news, I don't really have a whole crazy thing in tennis last night. Not that it spent 30 seconds in tennis, but Novak Djokovic was getting his ass kicked, and then the guy he was playing like tore his abductor. So now Novak's in the semis, despite absolutely getting obliterated in that match. So that's hilarious. He's a plus 850 dog to Sinner, and I don't think that's ever happened in his career. It's just like a true, just one-way traffic there, where that's going to be very ugly, and Sinner's just in the final. So yeah, that you just don't see that with Novak these days. Other than that, I don't know if we touched on it yesterday, but Mensah has committed to Miami after leaving Duke. There was a little bit of legal thing there, similar to with Damon Williams leaving Washington. He was trying to leave Washington for LSU, I believe it was, and that got nixed. So now Mensah does get to leave Duke, now goes to Miami, so he will take over as quarterback for Beck. And pretty good talent at Tulane. He was really good, and they offense wasn't their problem at Duke. More coaching and game management and defense. But that's a fun quarterback that you'll definitely hear a lot of. And maybe, I know the class is very deep next year for quarterbacks, but if Mensa has a big year at Miami, you might hear his name in the first round. He's definitely got the body for it. So I think that's basically it. I think we covered
Hold on, I got a couple of show notes.
Yeah, what do you got?
Congrats to Meek. He finished 1 point off King of the Leaderboard last night.
It would have been a $90 bonus bet if
Dude, Paul George's though was $33,000 and he was
crazy.
That Jared McCain going nuclear in that fourth quarter made him sit on the bench for so long because I thought he was going to win with ease.
This doesn't count, but in my head, when I was picking, I know I went with Zion. But Sarr's name did cross my mind a little bit.
Oh, you can't say that after.
No, you
either
can't.
Make it or don't. Come on.
No, it's just making me feel bad but also it did help a little bit that it was a split. Oh, I'm not taking credit for the Sarr thing. I'm just saying it helps that they split it because I think it would end up being like $1,000 or something if it was a loan.
600.
650.
Whatever. I'll say this about Sarr: the Wizards have that 7:00 game on that Tuesday a lot, and he's around 8:00 or so. He's always near the top. So there's not much there, and he's one of the better players. So someone's got to get their points, rebounds, assists. If it's a Tuesday, there's no Luka, there's no Giannis, there's no Jokic. It's up for grabs.
Mm-hmm. So who did he split it with? Who was it?
Michael Porter Jr. of all people.
Michael Porter Jr.
Because that game went to overtime.
So tonight,
that helped.
Tonight you got LeBron back in Cleveland.
I just want to show this Knicks mock trade I just made real quick.
Boy.
This is what it would.
Let's see it.
Realistically,
it says
would
fail.
look like. Because Mikhail can't be traded until the 1st.
Got it.
That's why.
Okay.
But realistically, this kind of thing would be what would work
Giannis
for
and
Knicks.
Drew. We give Kat,
Dadier,
Kolick, a bunch of picks.
Look at all those picks.
Yabu.
Just a
I mean, if that's what it costs,
But
let me sign the.
But Milwaukee gets their picks back these years.
Sure.
And also, who could be bought out in a month? Chris Middleton, because the Wizards probably have no reason to keep him.
Like another reason to really push for this for the Knicks, and obviously it will only happen if Giannis really just says I want to be a Knick, is Brunson. The window with Brunson is only so big, And how old is Brunson now?
28.
So that's great. But in a few years, if you kick the can down the road, then all of a sudden you blink and he's 31.
He's 29 actually, so he turns 30 in this summer. So this is
okay. So you kick the can down the road, he's 32 before you blink.
Yeah.
And for a physical, a guard like him who likes to drive,
they don't age well. Like we saw with
that's
Dame.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
like Steph is the anomaly.
So that's why you have to get ultra aggressive, even if you're gonna maybe regret it with the picks and all that. Like. You got this core to go all in right now. Now, you went all in with the wrong guys. We're trading for Towns and Bridges. But if the Giannis thing presents itself, you can't let it slip. And hopefully Rich Paul gets involved somehow and Giannis becomes
I'd add to the Nats in that trade, too. I'm sure the money would work.
Sure. Take all the brothers. No problem. So Lakers, Cavs tonight. LeBron's back to Cleveland again. Knicks are at the Raptors. Actually, a good NBA board. Spurs Rockets at night. That's a very fun game. They just played like a week ago.
A lot of good NBA games tonight.
Hornets Grizzlies. All of a sudden, the Hornets are like, I kind of want to watch them. Very odd feeling with the Hornets. Magic Heat, little Florida battle there. Hawks Celtics. It's a good NBA board. Let's see college. College, anything fun?
No, it's not great.
Nothing with college.
Great.
So it's an NBA night. Okay. And then. Tennis? What's tennis tonight? Is it just women?
It is interesting. The NBA always has their trade deadline Super Bowl week just because they want to take the attention away from NFL and attempt to.
Yeah.
And some years it worked. Like Luka Doncic took all the attention away from last year's Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was the story for 48 hours. Was that trade?
Was that Super Bowl week?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the week. Yeah, literally the Saturday before the Super Bowl. Saturday before the Pro Bowl.
Crazy. Let's do some picks. So I'll start. Aussie Open. I went 2-1 last night. We lost the Djokovic bet. Won both women's matches. That was nice. So tonight's the women's semis. Fun fact: none of these women have lost a set leading up to this match. Wow. So star power all around. It's not easy. I'm gonna go Sabalenka in straight sets. That's -125. And then for the other match. I'm going to take the over. I don't know where it's going to land on the side. I'm going to take the over 22.5 games between Pegula and Rybakina minus 115. And in the NBA, there's no men tonight in Aussie. NBA, I'm going to go Cavs minus 3.5. I will take... Oof, that's a bad Knicks line. I'm not taking that.
Also, the Knicks, Mitchell Robinson and Deuce McBride have been ruled out.
Not good.
Josh
so
Hart
that means Towns is playing a lot.
Maybe take Towns' stats.
I don't want
Are you like Porty have lines?
It makes me feel sad when I take that. I'm going to take the Spurs plus 2.5 in Houston and leave it at that. You guys got anything?
I have LeBron 25 plus minus 107.
Okay, just to go nuts in Cleveland.
Yeah, it's like
sure. He's been playing well all year.
I want to look at Knicks lines after seeing.
You want to talk golf?
I'm gonna make a golf pick. I will say I enjoyed Meek.
I'm sorry, I meant to give you a golf minute. You got time.
No,
you got a few minutes if you want.
I'll make a push for one player. I want to say I thought Meek was excellent, roasting the New York guys on Roan.tv. I thought that was a very good watch.
Thank you.
If people have not seen that, check it out. Meek got under some skin of some people, which is very fun to see.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of glad Marty's not here. While we were on the air a couple hours before, ESPN did their top 50 college basketball players at the midway point, and they put Boozer #1 in the country. So I'm kind of glad we don't have to hear Marty rail about that.
That's crazy. The band says in 1
on the show. They had the bands at 2. But they had Boozer 1. I've been making fun of him for saying that, but turns out he was right. So, Farmers Insurance, decent field, Brooks Koepka back. Golf betting is interesting. Some outrights are huge. You can bet live during it. The guy I want to point people towards, I'm going to play him fit a top 10 finish this week, is a guy by the name of Sam Stevens. Sam Stevens finished top 6 last week in the first real tournament of the year. They played this twice last year, twice at Torrey Pines. There'll be 2 tournaments. He was top 30 both times. Sam Stevens on this course career is one of the best strokes gains in the entire field. He's rounding as his best form of the year. He's 13th in FedEx points early on. He's top 60 in data golf stats, which I look at. He's 49-1 to win. If you're going to bet him to win the whole thing outright, that's like a small little fun bet. Top 10 is plus 395 on DraftKings right now. That'll be my big golf bet this week. Sam Stevens, top 10 at the Farmers Insurance. He loves Torrey Pines. He's in good form. And I just think it's a good time to get him. I think he's going to have a very good year. He's going to turn 30 later on this year. He's rounding into form as a player. Sam Stevens, top 10 for sure. But you're sprinkling top 5 in to win. He's my price play at the Farmers this week out at Torrey Pines, it's the only course I've ever played on the PGA Tour. I was terrible. I shot like 1 million, but it's a beautiful spot. I love it on TV, and Koepka's back. So Sam Stevens is the golf play this week, Hubs.
What does he look like? Let me see. I've never heard of this guy. Let's see what Sam Stevens looks like. Okay. All right. He's minus 118 in his matchup against Justin Rose, and I like that.
Yeah, I don't know if Rose played last week or not, but yeah, he's played. Stevens played twice since Hawaii. He's 31st. He was top 6. He had a great week last week in the American Express. I like these guys who get out to good starts on the tour.
Sure.
He's played well at Torrey Pines before.
I think I'm going to be on that Stevens matchup bet. I'll sprinkle yours as well, but I like the matchups. I just like things that get decided in the same day.
You don't want to wait. You don't want to invest your whole weekend.
I'm such an impatient man. I've never been a big futures guy. I should.
I can tell when you talk about Syracuse, there's not much patience.
Oh, I'm not. I've been way too patient for those idiots. Sam Stevens minus 118. I'm gonna probably take that. You can probably add that to my card against Justin Rose. This is in Torrey Pines. That's in Cali.
Yeah, Torrey Pines, San Diego.
Yeah. I should know that. My wife is from there. Great. So that's fun. So and wait, that's on ESPN, right?
The coverage, there'll be like a big 3 or 4 hour block on ESPN, like dedicated to Brooks Koepka tomorrow. They're changing the coverage up. They're going all out for this. They're not going to tee off till afternoon tomorrow, but I didn't know if we'd get a chance to say it in the first 15 minutes of our show. So I'm on Stan Stevens today. We're getting on now.
What is his trio is cool though, right? I said that earlier, but he's with Oberg, and I love Oberg. I'm such an Oberg guy.
So do I. I saw
Bluntman
had him this week. He likes Oberg.
I'll bet Oberg in like every major. Just a charge up there. He's
a golf machine. I know you hate futures. You hate futures, but I bet him months ago with a bonus bet to win the Masters, like 20-1.
So I just decided to ladder cat threes tonight. 3 plus 271,
Yeah.
4 plus 700, 5 plus 1720.
Like they can't pull him in the fourth for hot porty, right? They gotta
That's
just
what I mean.
play him.
Like he's gonna have to play minutes
Unless foul trouble, which he loves to do.
If I lose off if I lose off of just pure volume, like if he's just bricking shots, I'll live with it. I know it's the right bet. If it's foul trouble, I'm gonna be pissed.
And Hubs, just to close the loop on this, I apologize.
Yeah.
Koepka, Max Homa, Oberg is the tee time tomorrow, 12:32 Eastern. So very early out of the gate tomorrow. We'll be on the air, but they're going to tee off early. Those three guys. That'll be a featured foursome for sure. I'm guessing on.
I'm
ESPN.
excited. That's a good little treat. I love that. Cool. So that's the show. Thanks for tuning in. I think we'll have Ev back tomorrow.
Yeah, I think he'll be
still
back
in Vegas?
I don't know. I thought he was gonna be here today, but the travel's been crazy, so I don't blame him. That's the show. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry for the abbreviated cast here, but we made it work. And we'll see you tomorrow.